Hello everyone, welcome. It's Christine with Powder Crafts, and today I'm here with a design team project for Scrapping for Less. I'll be using this stamp set here from Lawn Fawn called Critters in the Sea. I'll also be using this die from Lawn Fawn called Ocean Wave Accents. I'll be using the two larger wave dies. And also some pattern paper. This is from the 6x6 paper pad from Pink and Maine called Water Foil Paper. Thought I would just show you what is in this paper pad. I thought it would be great for this project since I'm doing Critters in the Sea. A watercolor background seems perfect, and to just save some time, I thought this would be better than having to make my own watercolor background. I also really liked the foiling and I thought it added some interest. So I'm using some archival jet black ink to stamp all of my images. I have cut down some watercolor paper because I will be using my Arteza Real Brush pens to color these, and that is a water-based ink. And I use a water brush, so I want to make sure that I'm using a water-friendly ink. So kind of messed up on my first set of stamping. The paper moved just enough where it kind of looked like there was a weird double line. So I just flipped the piece of paper over and stamped the other side. So pulling out my Arteza Real Brush pens, a water brush, and an acrylic block. I find with these pens that sometimes I find the colors are hard to blend. So what I do is I add color directly onto my project where I want the darkest areas to be, and then I will put some ink on an acrylic block and I'll pull that in with a water brush pen, and it will just add some lighter color. And then sometimes I go back in with the real brush pen back to those darkest areas until I have a nice blend. Some of the colors are easier to blend than others, like this green, for example. You can go ahead and lay that down and use the water brush pen to pull the ink so that you have a really nice blend. That color works really well. The first color I used, and not so much. The second color, I did put some, or I'm not the second color, I'm sorry, but on the color on the whale, I used two colors for the whale. I did that on a block just because it's a larger image. But as you can see with these other images, it's fairly easy with the exception of this pink. Let me tell you, I can't do squat with this pink to get it to blend. So this is where I first discovered I had to put the color down on an acrylic block because this pink is so hard to blend out. But some of these other colors are fairly easy. The purple is really great. Sometimes you can do what I'm doing here with the shell, which is add color. Like I added the red and then I used this peach color and went right over it. Same thing with those greens. I used two different greens to blend. I don't usually show this step, but I thought it'd be fun to just kind of add it. Because sometimes I am asked about this machine. This is just the Brother Scan and Cut. This works great, so you don't have to buy all of the dies for every stamp set you might ever want. So I am going to just show you real quick how this just scans all these little images, and then they just come like that. Perfect. Just like it was die cut with a die. I do still like dies, don't get me wrong, and I will buy them if I can get them at a good price, but I love so many more stamp sets, so I'd rather have more stamp sets and invest in that Brother Scan and Cut so I can have more stamps. Confessions of a stamper. So I'm going ahead and added some pieces into the inside of my card for some decoration. I'm showing you here where I used that wave die to cut the waves in my pattern paper. Now, my thought process with this was I was going to put the critters in these little wave slits like they're coming out of the water. However, I didn't think that putting all this foam, they wouldn't be able to fit in those little slits. And so I'm going to go ahead and adhere that, and I don't know this yet. For whatever reason, I don't know this yet. Like, okay, he is not going to fit in there. Though I have to cut him. I have to cut them all to fit them. And if you didn't know that I cut them, you wouldn't know. It's not like you can tell. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut them down to fit in those little slits and go ahead and adhere those down with some of my ATG. Adding my little pink octopus to the inside because I didn't want to cut her. She's just too cute. So now that I have that done, I'm going to stamp my sentiment from the stamp set. It's called Have a Whale of a Time, or it's not what it's called, it's what it says. So I'm going to stamp that on this banner piece cut from some white cardstock, put it right in the middle of those two foil lines, and now I'm going to do some finishing touches. Adding Wink of Stella clear glitter brush to each one of my critters. I'm also using a black gel pen to just define their eyes. And I'm using a white gel pen to add just a little bit of highlight to the whale and to the dolphin. I did not do it to the turtle because I didn't think that it would really show. The turtle kind of has a lot going on. So then I decided I'm going to bring in some Nouveau drops, but I thought these little blue ones would be pretty, but then I thought maybe they're going to blend too much in. So I'm just grabbing some clear Nouveau drops, adding some bigger drops, and then just kind of touching it gently and adding these really tiny drops to each of the sides of the bigger drops. And there you have it. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button. But until next time, bye.